And that is wired into this little guy here, which is wired into the receiver. Now let's get to the paintball gun. The paintball gun is a Sheridan XTS single tube blowback style marker. What you see here, this is what it looked like before I made the modifications to it. This is the same exact model, same color. What I liked about the Sheridan is one is a single tube blowback. That means it's quite compact in size, unlike a standard Spider, which is a double tube blowback, which would work well, but it would take up a little bit more space and was obviously a very compact turret. Another thing I liked about it is the XTS Sheridan came with this aluminum forward grip, which is securely bolted to the marker. I was looking at that one day and I thought that'd make a nice pivot point for a elevate mechanism, in which it has done so with a little bit of work, which I'll explain secondly. Also, it has a 45-degree paintball feed inlet. Unlike most modern-day markers, the paintball inlet would be coming straight out of the top. That facilitates paintball feed when it's on its side, so we can use gravity feed all the way in. Now, some of the modifications I had to do to this gun, obviously, were to shorten the handle, or remove the trigger guard. The forward grip was machined down to fit inside of a bearing set for a bicycle front handle tube, and I'll explain that here shortly. And also, what I did here on the feed, since I wanted to feed from this direction, what I did is I basically cut this off here and moved this plug and plugged it in on the other side, allowing the feed to go in from the top, which obviously you can see was done here. Now, the way the gun is pivoted into this block here, I'll explain this. I'm not going to take it apart because it's a bit involved, but basically the front aluminum grip was machined down to the same diameter as the handlebar tube that goes from the handlebars on a bicycle down through the frame of the bike and then to the front forks. And that goes through a bearing set, which you can see components of it here. Here's the one side of it, and the other side is this other silver bearing race here. And these were epoxied into this plywood box here. And these bearing sets are quite common. You can go to any bike shop and buy them, and they're quite inexpensive. So basically, this tube runs through here, through this ball bearing set, and then this the round plywood disc is attached to that through the screw here. Now, what's really slick about this setup is that I can literally just take an Allen wrench, remove the Allen bolt, which is up inside this handle here, for better explanation here, and this detaches this, and this gun will lift out, and I just have to unhook the CO2 line, which is just a press and fitting, and the gun will come right out for easy cleaning and so forth. But one other thing, notice these two notches or grooves in the wheel. The thinner one is obviously for the fishing line that I was describing earlier, and the thicker one is, it's a little hard to see, but up here you can see where an end of a spring terminates. It's attached to this spring, to this screw, excuse me. Comes under here. This spring is the counterweight, or counter spring is the weight of the marker, so that the servo isn't stressed trying to hold up the weight of the marker while the system is on. Let's see. Another little fine point of the turret is the CO2 feed. I tried to get the feed line as close to the axis of rotation to the gun as possible to minimize the movement of the feed line in action, to reduce leakage and any issues there. This is a standard paintball macro line fittings in a short length. I think that's about 5 or 6 inches feeding into the gun. And that's basically it. Let me go ahead and power it up, and I'll show you how the functionality of some of these items. Again, I put the barrel back on it so it looks more like a gun. Move that out of the way. See, down and up, and then here's the actuation of the trigger. Get a better view of it there. Get a pretty high rate of fire, not as fast as a pure electronic gun, but it's a very reliable system. One key thing is there's a return spring here which is attached to the cam, so that brings it back faster for a higher rate of fire. Let's see, anything else I can think of? The reason I went through all this trouble on the Elevate, most people just generally use a lever type arrangement, or the bell cranks that come with the servos that are and then attached to the gun in some fashion. Is what I wanted to do here is I wanted to get the same degree of rotation throughout the entire range of the transmitter stick throw. This helps me out on long-range gunnery. What I did on the transmitter side is, if you're at all familiar with the radio control transmitters, this is an air radio. It's been modified to work on ground frequencies, and normally the throttle for the airplanes are on the left, and this would have a ratcheting on it. But what I did is I moved that to this side because I prefer to operate the gun with my right thumb. So I have a ratchet here. So for every ratchet movement, I get the exact same rotation on the gun. So, you know, it's probably it might be a little anal, but I said I can do it. Why not? And this kind of helps me range in shots on the long range from across the field. Yeah. So that's one of the finer points. Now this turret's a bit more complicated than most, and for anybody that hasn't built a tank yet, don't let this persuade you not to. If you think this may be beyond you. This is again, this is just me. It's the way I build it. Other tanks out there are much more are simpler, but they do the same thing, and they're quite effective out on the battlefield. And again, that is the innards of my paintball tank, the Cromwell. That's T040. If you want to learn more about the tank and our hobby and sport, you can go to rctankcombat.com, and there's tons of how-to articles, tanks, build diaries with lots of pictures and video, and also battle footage, pictures, and you can check the schedule for the latest battle in your area. You can come by. We got paintballs, paintball masks you can wear. We'll let you, some people bring extra vehicles and artillery, and we always let the newbies have some fun also. Again, I hope you enjoyed my little short video tour of the innards of my Cromwell paintball tank. And my next video, I'll probably be getting into the innards of the hull and the transportation, or the power system for the tank. And until then, thanks for viewing. Bye.